It's all covered in today's China truths.
This is truly terrifying, one mother cried. I almost died this morning while taking my child to school. Out of nowhere, a piece of the exterior wall just fell right in front of us. No warning, just a loud crash. My heart stopped. She's not alone. Across China, chunks of concrete are falling from high-rises, once symbols of modern life, now turning into silent killers. Every day, another resident said, it feels like a gamble between life and death. You never know which wall will collapse next. On Tianfu Road, disaster struck again. A residential building, still under construction, suddenly crumbled. The building next to it just fell. Oh my God, did it hit anyone? Shouted one eyewitness, trembling as debris filled the air. Hurry! Help the victims! Call the police! As China's property market drowns in debt, pointing to a newly built tower. They're full of cracks and bulges. When the wind blows, the bubbles burst, and the walls just peel off. Another man described what he saw from his balcony that morning. This building is only a few years old, yet the entire wall has cracked. My friends told me it was leaning, and I laughed, until I saw it myself. The whole thing is tilting. Others began checking the area. Look at the street lights, one shouted. You can see the tilt clearly. The ground has split open, the foundation's broken apart, and the underground garage is flooded and sealed off. One homeowner said quietly, I spent several million yuan, my family's life savings, on this apartment. Now, after just a few years, it's like this. How could anyone stand it? A frustrated owner picked up a drill to test the wall. I'm not even pressing hard, he said. But the concrete breaks like sand. Maybe the drill isn't the problem. Maybe the concrete's just that weak. Then came the most shocking discovery. A 30-story tower developing a huge crack across its load-bearing wall on the first floor. Panic spread. Families fled their homes, too afraid to sleep inside. The cracks we see are only the surface, another resident warned. Who knows what's hidden underneath? How can anyone live in a building like this and feel safe? But when they confronted the developer, the answer was absurd. The cracks are decorative, not structural, they were told. Owners demanded refunds. The company refused. One woman sobbed as she filmed the damage in her apartment. The ceiling leaks again. Water everywhere. Bedroom, bathroom, living room, even the lights are dripping. We just renovated 7 months ago. Everything's ruined. And now the property management is suing me for unpaid fees. Her neighbor was suffering the same fate. Instead of fixing the leaks, the property company and the waterproofing contractor began suing each other, leaving homeowners trapped in the middle. We can't sell or rent these apartments, one owner said bitterly. Are we supposed to just throw them away? A construction worker later revealed why the concrete was failing. The steel bars were never properly secured, he said. They pressed against the wood panels instead of being supported, so when the formwork was removed, the rods rusted. The concrete started crumbling from the inside. For many families, the dream of homeownership has turned into a nightmare. 3 generations of savings, one man cried, and all we got was a pile of garbage. Even luxury complexes are falling apart. This so-called 3 million yuan hotel-style building is rotten, said another owner. The walls are decaying, the pipes are exposed, and you can hear your neighbor through the wall. There's no soundproofing at all. If we don't seal everything soon, the rain will destroy what's left. One resident described an unbelievable scene. I went to the rooftop to exercise and tried to lift a stone bar. The moment I touched it, the surface cracked open. It was filled with foam. The entire structure was fake inside. And yet, the official narrative still claims that China's construction industry is world-leading. But behind the polished propaganda, countless buildings are collapsing, symbols not of progress, but of decay. These crumbling walls tell a story far greater than broken concrete. They reveal a system built on shortcuts, silence, and denial, a system now cracking under its own weight. Look at these bricks. They're crushed from the inside, one observer said. We spent nearly 3 million yuan on this apartment, plus another million on decoration. When we dug beneath the foundation, we found nothing but garbage and debris, foam, plastic, and construction waste. It's literally a tofu drag project. We're lucky no one was killed. Who would buy such a house? Later, a shocking scene unfolded. A once smooth road suddenly collapsed. The asphalt split open, exposing the broken sewage pipes beneath. Water gushed out like a fountain, carrying mud and debris. The ground looked like a torn wound, brutally revealing the fragility within. A vivid display of China's tofu drag reality. Isn't this exactly what a tofu drag project looks like? One passerby scoffed. You can't even park a few cars without the ground collapsing. If someone wrote this in a newspaper, no one would believe it. The building is shaking, another resident said. Look, I'm holding my phone steady, but the entire structure is swaying. I can feel it. It's terrifying. The recurring appearance of such tofu drag projects across China stems from a money worship culture deeply rooted in the CCP's education system. In the pursuit of profit, many have come to believe that not cutting corners means losing opportunity. This mindset, combined with corruption, collusion, greed, and a lack of proper oversight, has led to widespread construction failures. Now, as China's economy continues to deteriorate, both developers and local governments are under enormous financial pressure, trapped in a vicious cycle that seems impossible to break. Across China, the glittering skyline hides a dark secret. From bustling Chengdu to coastal cities like Ningbo, half-finished towers and cracked apartment blocks have become common sights. Newly built homes crumble within years, their walls peeling, balconies falling, and ceilings leaking rainwater like broken dams. In Harbin, a high-rise facade collapsed overnight, scattering debris across parked cars. In Suzhou, an underground garage caved in after heavy rain, swallowing vehicles whole. On social media, residents call these disasters the real earthquakes of modern China. Behind every collapse lies a chain of rushed construction, bribed inspections, and desperate developers trying to meet impossible deadlines. For millions of ordinary families, the dream of owning a home has turned into a nightmare. In Guangzhou, homeowners reported that walls cracked just months after moving in. In Henan, newly built schools saw ceilings collapse on classrooms. In Sichuan, bridges tilted before even opening to the public. Each case follows the same pattern: corners cut, cheap materials used, and officials turning a blind eye. We spent everything we had, one family cried, standing before their flooded living room. Now the foundation is breaking apart. Engineers who dared to speak out revealed that some concrete mixes contained more sand than cement. Others admitted that steel rods were replaced with hollow tubes. These aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of a system that rewards speed over safety. Tofu drag projects have become a symbol of China's deeper decay, not just in buildings, but in values. When profit outweighs integrity, every skyscraper stands on borrowed time. Each fallen wall and sunken road reflects the cost of corruption and silence. In many cities, residents say they live in fear, listening for the next crack in the night, wondering if their homes will be next. Experts warn that the structural crisis mirrors the nation's economic one, fragile on the surface, hollow within. Yet, amid the ruins, public anger is growing. More citizens are demanding accountability, not just repairs. The broken concrete is no longer just debris. It's the voice of a people watching their dreams collapse before their eyes.
This is not my home anymore. This isn't your home anymore. This isn't our home anymore. Shall I help you click like? Thank you. Say goodbye to our home, sweetheart.
Life and death are what they are, but I truly feel so much pain inside. I can't bear to sell this place, but there's no other choice. A mortgage to buy a house makes sense. You don't have enough money, so you borrow some. But taking a loan just to sell a house, that's something that completely overturns people's understanding of wealth. Still, it's understandable. The money from selling the house isn't enough to pay off the mortgage, so I have to borrow more money just to cover the original loan before I can close the deal. Those who now take loans to sell their houses are the same people who once took loans to buy them. After years of paying both principal and interest, They suddenly find that their homes are worth less than the remaining mortgage. If they can still sell, fine. It's better than being stuck with a house no one wants. Who knows what collateral the banks are even using for these secondary loans? Maybe they're just taking the houses back themselves. I don't know. Are you happy or sad when buying a house? For me, it's only sadness. I'm no longer the owner here. People used to take out loans to buy homes, but now, as a landlord, I have to take out a loan just to sell one. Last year, someone approached me to sell a 109 square meter apartment in Zhonghai, Huaiyue. It was listed for 1.2 million yuan, about 11,000 yuan per square meter. The price wasn't bad, but I knew it wouldn't sell because he still owed 1.1 million on the loan. Sure enough, by October this year, it still hadn't sold. Now he tells me he's willing to drop it to 960,000 yuan, saying it would sell at that price. But how? He still owes 1.1 million. Even if it sells, he'd still need to raise tens of thousands more just to make up the difference. In the neighborhood behind me, those who bought around 2021 are now facing losses of 700,000 to 800,000 yuan on 90 square meter units. For larger homes, the loss is easily over 1 million. Today, a homeowner came to sell his apartment. He bought it 2 years ago for nearly 1.5 million yuan, paid 450,000 down, and still owes 800,000. But now, the home's value has dropped so much that his 2 years of effort and half a lifetime savings are gone. It's ironic. In the past, people couldn't afford to buy houses. Now they can't afford to sell them. Families emptied 6 wallets, gritted their teeth, and took on 30-year loans, thinking they had finally got on the train. But it turned out to be a bottomless pit. Now people list their houses for half a year with barely any views. When a buyer finally appears, their first words are a drastic price cut. Sell it and it's still not enough to pay the bank. The down payment is gone, the monthly payments are gone, youth is gone, and in the end you still owe the bank hundreds of thousands. As China's economy continues to decline, with falling incomes and rising unemployment, many people are forced to stop payments and sell their homes. Loan-based house sales have become a bizarre new phenomenon across the mainland. Not long ago, people complained they couldn't afford to buy. Now they can't afford to sell. A man who paid a 100,000 yuan down payment and took a 200,000 yuan loan now finds his property worth only 140,000. If he sells, he still owes the bank 300,000. He doesn't know whether to sell and take the loss or keep waiting, hoping for a miracle. Home values have dropped by 600,000 yuan. The down payment is gone. The mortgage is gone. You told me not to buy, but I just wanted a home. Was that wrong? I can't bear it anymore. Let it all collapse. These were the words of a homeowner in Huangpu District's Shady Ivy residence. Why would someone say something so desperate? Just look at the numbers. A 70 square meter apartment recently sold for 830,000 yuan. The same layout was worth 2.16 million yuan in 2021. Who wouldn't tremble at such a drop? Many people are still in the dark. To be honest, houses these days simply don't sell. No one wants them. You can barely see anyone at the sales offices. For second-hand homes, cutting prices by 100,000 or even 300,000 yuan has become normal. Even discounts can't attract buyers anymore. This is the harsh reality of China's housing market right now. Our house really can't be sold. We bought it in 2019 for 1.34 million yuan in Shaoxing, Zhejiang. Now second-hand homes are selling at rock-bottom prices. Through the agent, we first listed it at 1 million, then dropped it to 800,000. Almost no one came to look. If you have a mortgage, even if you starve, you still have to keep paying it back early. My loan was 400,000 yuan, and my monthly payment is over 1,900 yuan. I've been paying for 3 or 4 years. Recently, we had a bit of extra cash, so I told my partner, why don't we just pay off the loan completely? It'll take the pressure off. But guess what? When I went to the bank, they told me my loan balance was still over 380,000 yuan. Isn't that the bank fooling ordinary people? If you have a loan, never trust the person who sells it to you when they tell you what the rate is. Check it yourself in your banking app. If the numbers don't match, don't believe them.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.